Hi everybody, welcome to this playthrough for the Tour Championship 2024 18-hole cup, this time here on the BK Golf Clash YouTube channel. Before we look at the replays here, please hit thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, totally free to do so. As this is an 18-hole tournament, you will need, of course, the front and back 9. This video contains the front 9, holes 1 to 9. Be sure to check out the back 9 playthrough as well. That will be, of course, holes 10 to 18. Remember to tweak the setup shown here according to the wind directions you will face during the tournament, your clubs, balls and play style. Timestamps for all holes in the video description down below. Let's get started. Right then, on this par 4, we are going to play with any driver that offers a decent amount of topspin. You want to try and get to that kind of dogleg part of the fairway, or at least as close to it as possible. You don't have to have the Apocalypse in a high level. You could do this with an APOC 4 or 5 or the Extra Mile level 8. Adding spins as shown, I'm using a Katana here, so that's a free-to-play ball, power 4, and aiming up at the P4 max rest position with my APOC 5 and above. I'm going to adjust here maximum distance, 10% elevation. Now I'm going with full overpower here. You could get a steadier needle by going with a higher power ball, or you could of course use a higher power ball and not need to go with any overpower at all. You want to try and gain as much distance as possible. Obviously with tailwind you'd have a slower needle, but you want to drive distance of around 380 yards if you can, because it will make the second shot easier. Now I have a little look at the rough bump here. That is going to be a good option in certain wind angles, but here we've got a nice wind angle to play the bounce up with the thorn close to max distance. So I'm applying spins as needed, about 1 top spin and 2 right spins, so we can aim away from the rough on the right. Ball guide just going to the front edge of the cup because we've got tailwind, which is going to push us there. Now, obviously, with any headwind off the tee, you're not going to be as far up on your fairway for your approach. So you may well need to play with a long iron shot, or if you get dramatically strong headwind off the tee, you will need to play this from near minimum distance line with your sniper, in which case the rough bump may be the way forward. But here I'm playing true club distance, 0 elevation, so I'm close to max here. I think I played it 90% on the slider, and we're dropping this one for a beautiful eagle on this par 4. On to the first par 3 here, and it's a nasty one. Now look at this slope up to the green. You can play with a good amount of backspin, but look at the ball guide, and when I'm moving around here there's no consistent spots. So I'm going to suggest for the best hole-in-one chance we go for a rough bump. However, this is not without risk and it needs some technical work as well. Going with between half a bar and 1 bar of backspin depending on the wind angle, and always 3 bars of side spin to the left so that we can set up at a good point here. So we're looking at Katana, Kingmaker or better. Now, I'm adjusting this one medium distance. I would recommend you play with 15% under adjusting, so it's minus 15. The problem with this hole, if you adjust down into the bunker, you will lose distance. You adjust up onto the green, you gain distance, and that's why I'm going with a few clicks of under power on this one. If you adjust down into the bunker, you need to play with some overpower. Small tweak needed here. A very technical approach, but that is the best opportunity, in my opinion, for the hole-in-one. On this par 4, we're going to play max plus 5 on the drive. We don't need much topspin at all. I'm going with 3 bars of topspin in this wind angle. In fact, in the end, I kind of go between 3 and 3.2. In the end, I go with 3.2, but 3 topspin would be a bit better in terms of margin for error. 3 bars of right spin, so a Katana or a Kingmaker. Again, you don't need to use the Apocalypse. You could make this shot with a power 6 ball instead, and the Extra Mile level 6 or 7, to be honest. Max plus 5 in this wind angle. I'm going to go with outer wall curl to the right, and then we're going to hit perfect. And this one is just a case of laying up close to the end of the fairway for an easy end bringer wedge. We're going to talk you through the wedge next. I don't see the need to really blast this. As you can see, you're going down very deep into a bunker and out and up the hill. You're probably not going to roll out really unless you're extremely fortunate. So for me, this is a layup shot in all wind angles. End-bringer school wedge, stretch out to max. If you don't know this method, check out the video on my Academy playlist on the channel homepage. Here you can see I'm around 70-75% wedge, playing at the usual 20% elevation, no spin, So this one is going to be played around 75% slider, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 20% elevation. And we're going to drop this one very nicely for an eagle. Now, even in headwind off the tee, I still think most of the time you're going to get into wedge range. You might need more topspin though, maybe 5 bars, and set up a little bit further away from max distance of your driver to give yourself room to adjust without needing overpower. But still, I think you're still going to get very easily, like I said, into an end bringer second shot. So it's an excellent chance for an eagle. Now on this par 4, I would like you to increase the curl a little bit from the video that we have here. Nasty headwind, and we're up in expert wind strength here, but will still apply to pro. So I'm setting up with the quarterback at the top of +10, and then I'm switching to either the Extra Mile, Thor's Hammer or Apocalypse. 5.8 top spin, you could go with 6 bars if you have it. 3 bars side spin to the left. In expert, I will be always playing this hole with a Kingmaker. In pro, you're looking at a Katana or a Kingmaker, depending on the wind angle and how strong the headwind is. Adjustment here is max +10, and because we're not at max club, it gives me a slightly steadier needle. Now, a higher power ball will give you an even slower needle, going with just over outer wall curl to the left. Like I said, I should have gone with half a ball of curl to the left because we do park up a little bit closer to the rough than I would like, but it sets us up nicely for a second shot. And to be honest, I want to be on the right hand side of the fairway anyway because of where the pin is on the green. Second shot with headwind off the tee, you're going to be playing this one with a Thorn. You could investigate the rough bump. It looked a little bit glitchy there, so decided to go with a standard bounce up shot instead. And I can use the minimum distance line here, pushing up 15 rings from min. And the good thing about the Thorn, first 25 rings you push up, it's 1% slider per ring. So I'm adding spins using all of my 3 bars of left spin, so I'm not aiming too close to the rough on the left. And then going to play this one, rings from min, 0 elevation, and it is 1% per ring. So as I pushed up 15 rings from min, I'm playing this one 15% slider. If you've got tailwind, obviously, you can get much closer to the green, and you will have an end bringer wedge instead. Either way, though, even with headwind, you've got a good chance to drop an eagle here. Even nicer with tailwind, of course, but it's still very manageable with a rings from min Thorn in headwind angle off the tee. On the drive here, we're going to start with the quarterback at top of +10, bullseye in the middle of the fairway, because we have predominantly headwind angle here. And then I switch to my distance driver bag. So APOC, Extra Mile, Thor's Hammer. Going here with 5.8 top spin, I think, and a 1.5 left spin. Looks like about 5.5 top spin. You could go with a bit more if you wanted. If you've got it available, it will get you closer to the green. Of course, make the approach a little bit easier to drop. Max +5 is the adjustment here. And once we've done that, you can see I'm only into plus yards there, so it's going to be a steadier overpower needle. Full overpower. And then we're going to hit perfect. And you can see here we're bouncing nicely on the fairway. Again, tailwind off the tee, you're going to get much more distance. You would need a little bit more curl, to be honest. That fairway slopes a bit to the right, so you might want to increase the curl if you're going with a more aggressive shot. But here we're playing with the Thorn from that drive distance, and again going to use 3 bars of left spin so that I'm going to set up nicely away from that rough. Doing a quick check of my club distance here. This one is under adjusted, unfortunately. We had max wind with a Kingmaker in expert division. I needed a bit more. So in this wind angle, I would advise you play true club distance, that is TC on the notepad, 30% elevation. I think in the video here I went either 15 or 20, but I think 30% would have been more appropriate here. But you will have to tweak that according to the wind angle you get both off the tee and, of course, on the second shot. Around 75% slider here, so between mid and max, but if you get more distance off the tee, you might be between min and mid instead. Now, we've got a fairly lengthy par 5 here and not a brilliant wind angle off the tee. I'm going with a Katana because I want to use 3 bars of right spin. Of course, the Kingmaker will be good as well, going with 5.8 top spin. which I actually reduced down to 5.5 because I want to be in range for a sniper shot without being in between clubs. But again, the top spin is going to vary. Tailwind, you're going to get a lot more distance anyway, but the adjustment here is max +5. You don't have to play with the Apocalypse. Extra mile would suffice because we're not going to use much curl at all here. Thor's hammer would also do very nicely. I go with circle break overpower here, just to make the shot a little bit longer and also without risking a great ball either side. Going down the fairway nicely, it slopes from left to right here, so we'll keep the ball in play fairly comfortably around 330 yards. Now the second shot here, bouncing up isn't going to really attack the pin for the Albatross, so if you're wanting that -3 on your scorecard, the rough bump is the way to go, but it might need a token or two. And you can see the rough is not super wide. In a ring touching the rough line, spins needed as required to get that ball guide going to the pin in crosswind, through the hole in headwind, just short of the hole in tailwind. I would recommend you play this one at true club distance, -20 now. Admittedly, I dropped this one with a great right, but my experience in the game tells me how I would need to tweak this with a perfect ball. So this one, I think, I played -10, true club distance, 20% under adjustment would have been better, and therefore with the perfect would have been dropped. So I know it's not ideal with a great, but of course with a well-adjusted shot and a perfect, this is the type of play you need to get your Albatross on this par 5. On the drive here, we're going to go with as much topspin as we can without risking a glitch roll. And you'll see nearer the green, there is quite a dip in the fairway. Now, if you attack that with a load of topspin, you might risk getting a glitch roll and overshooting the green. So here I limit myself to 5.8 topspin. It matches extra mile 8. Well, in fact, you've got 6 bars on the extra mile 8, or APOC level 4+, even APOC 3, but you might struggle with club distance, but ideally extra mile 8 or APOC 4 and above. Max +5 on the drive, not a lot of elevation changes needed here on East Lake, and once we've adjusted, because I'm not at max distance of club, it's given me a slower overpower needle, so we're going to go full blast and get some extra distance on our shot. Perfect ball away, and again the drive distance is going to vary on this hole. You want to try and push it as much as you can to make the second shot a better drop. Tailwind obviously is much nicer, you can get closer to the green, but this is fine as well, 380 yards. Now, second shot here, I'm estimating my club distance to be around mid-distance here, and I'm going to go with the rough bump. You could bounce over, you could play with a load of left spin with backspin and attack the pin from there, but I like the rough bump here as a decent chance. You will need a decent amount of topspin though, so if you don't have that much on your Thorn, you could check out the Hornet or the Runner. Ball guide to the hole, bouncing comfortably away from the edge of the rough. I would suggest you play this one mid-distance, 15% elevation. That is a tweaked adjustment from the video based off the miss, but we gave it a perfect. So I'm pretty confident from this point that mid +15 would have dropped very nicely, making our adjustment, centering the ball. And like I said, rough bump I think is a very nice way to go here. Plenty of room for error. Just needed a small tweak there to the adjustment on this hole. If you want to put a small donation in to say thank you for the free content here on the channel, you can do so. PayPal link is in the video description down below. You can also support us by becoming a YouTube channel member or a member on Patreon as well. Don't forget, all the videos here produced for free in my spare time. I'm not sponsored in any way, shape or form, so any donations are gratefully received. Another par 4 now. I'm going to play this one with the Titan, and we've got tailwind. Now you could make this easier and go with a Berserker, power 10 ball, but a Titan will be fine. Going with 5.8 topspin, a little bit of right spin, and I'm aiming at that very small bottleneck in the fairway. Now this is a bit of an aggressive one, and if you're off with your adjustment, pull, hit a great left or right, you could end up in the rough. It's still savable from there, but we want to try and leave ourselves with an end bringer if possible. Max +10 on this one, going with the Titan for the best wind push. Obviously in headwind, the blast is not going to be on without using a premium ball. Going with circle break overpower and a little bit of curl to the right. Could maybe have just tweaked this one a little bit, parks up a little bit close to the rough for my liking, but it's one in tournament that you would need to take a token or two. and just hone down this aggressive approach. Leave yourself a nice end bringer. If you've got more topspin, by all means go with it. You'll have an easier wedge. On to this par 3 now. You could bounce up on that slope with a backspin there with the sniper. But again, for the best chance for the hole-in-one, eliminate that high second bounce and go with the rough bump. There's less flight time in the air, so you don't need to worry about factoring in too many things with wind angles or adjustments when you've got less time that the ball's in the air. You can see I'm adding spin there, a little bit of backspin, a bit of right spin, getting the ball guide right of pin based on my previous attempts on this one. Still needs a further tweak, but it is a demonstration of the type of shot you want to play, in my opinion, for the best chance for the hole-in-one. This is a 1-to-1 adjustment, so 7.1 in wind. I'm going 7.1 rings. Decent area of rough to aim at here, so I consider this to be a good chance. If you're playing in wind from left to right, you will adjust down into the bunker, so make sure you factor that into your setup. But the rough bump gives you a very good look at the hole-in-one on this par 3. Thanks very much for watching this video here on the channel. If it has helped you in any way, please consider sharing it amongst your friends and clanmates in the game. Join us also on Facebook. Head over there, search for BK Golf Clash and join our free group. Loads of members there sharing shots. Free guides are posted, as well as loads of other great Golf Clash resources. So check us out there. You can join in the discussion and also leave feedback on the game in general. Finally, if you wish to help support the channel and keep the content free for everybody, please consider becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the video description down below. Good luck, see you soon, bye for now.